Hello, welcome to my next Nurburgring track weapon. I'm in the middle of painting up. No, I'm not, it's my little Honda Acti. But we're gonna have a little chat about the Nurburgring, the massive fireball smash at the weekend, and a bit about who was at fault, and all the opinions and questions that I've had around the Nurburgring, because a lot of people don't realise that even though the Nurburgring is a racetrack, it's not a racetrack for a lot of the time. Let me explain. So they do racing there. It is ultimately a racetrack. They do the Nurburgring 24-hour, VLN, all that sort of stuff. A lot of the time it is an industry pool day, so there's a massive manufacturer kind of industrial estate there. It's closed off to the general public. They can drive around and use it for testing vehicles. Some of the time it is a private track day, excuse me, which is crash helmet on, arms and legs covered, and then it is probably more like a racetrack, and then track day, but track day rules. So pass with consent, so over to the right hand side with your indicator on, let people by, but the same as any track day that I've ever been on, that's not always the case. And then the majority of the time, when people are saying that they are going to go to the Nurburgring, it is for TouristenFahrten, which is TF, and I believe it literally translates to tourist laps. So people turn up in a road legal car, has to be road legal, taxed, insured, MOT'd or TUV'd or whatever country you're from, and then you take your car on the Nurburgring under German road rules. And this is where the conversation starts, because all the videos that I've had sent to me of the big fireball crash, usually the people that haven't been to the Nurburgring then say that the Porsche that went up the left-hand side was at fault. If you haven't seen the video, it is everywhere. Go and Google Nurburgring crash, the latest one. It's a big fireball crash. If you DM me, I'll send you a link to it. It's everywhere. This is where the conversation starts, because people think it is a racetrack when it's for TF, but it's not. It is essentially a private toll road. People don't like to use the word toll road, but ultimately, if you've paid 30, 35 quid to go and do a lap, it's a private toll road, and German road rules apply. So you must stay to the right unless you're overtaking. It's literally that simple. It's effectively a 2-lane road without a white line. And when I've had discussions with 30 people in my DMs, and went to a pub and then a restaurant last night and had the same conversation with everyone, and everyone's going, oh, did you see that crash? Oh, that Porsche was going for that gap and he shouldn't have been. Potentially. Loads of people saying he was driving too fast. I don't believe he was. As he was coming around the previous corner, he could have been going easy, another 30, 40 miles an hour faster. And you heard him brake and lift maybe 2 or 3 times before he went for the gap, which then looked like the M2 moved over. And that's when the GT3's gone through. I've seen it happen loads of times where a car's moved over and it has been perfectly safe. He probably thought that he was letting him by. The M2 thought, well, I'm about to take a left-hander and chop the corner. And this is where the problems lie at the Nurburgring, is that people are on there and don't know the rules. People think it is a racetrack. It is a racetrack, but under TF, it's treated not like a racetrack. It's kind of as simple as that. If stay to the right-hand side, check your mirrors. If it's clear, take the racing line. If it's not clear, there could be a car there. Which is why accidents usually happen on left-handers, because cars have moved over to the right, someone thinks that they're letting them through, someone's dived up the inside. And this is, I've been going for about 10, 12 years, and it does seem to be getting busier and busier. They've clamped down on camper vans and motorbikes and stuff going out, but you could still have somebody in a GT3 RS who has done 10,000 laps around there trying to set a bridge to gantry time, which potentially you shouldn't be doing, mixed with someone who's just turned up, they're on holiday, they've gone to the famous Nurburgring in their Ford Focus estate, diesel with a roof box on. Oh, while we're here, let's go and do a lap of the Nurburgring. Obviously, closing speeds and people are out there not knowing what they're doing, mixed with the fact that the Nurburgring has a lot of decreasing radius corners. So if you turn in where you think the apex is, sometimes it's much further around the corner. If you turn in on max grip, you've got nothing left, you're going to slide off. Mixed with that, most places do not have a lot of runoff, which is why you end up having a lot of accidents there. But the flip side to that is, in my opinion, it is a really busy track. You think on, for example, I'm near Goodwood, a Goodwood day is 10 cars on a 98 decibel day, or 5 cars on a 105 decibel day. 10 cars in each session, maybe 4 sessions an hour. You've got 40 cars that are on track. I think there can be up to 500 cars on the Nurburgring at any one time. And grief, thousands of cars a day, thousands of cars an hour maybe, going round. Sometimes the same cars, sometimes cars that have done 10,000 laps, sometimes cars that have done like they're on their first lap. Added to that a racetrack is usually 2, 3, 4 miles for a big racetrack. The Nurburgring's 13 miles. So it takes like 100 laps just to start realising where the track is going, mixed with on a short 2, 3 mile track, maybe 5 laps, you're starting to get your eye in. So this is the conversation that I've had. Loads of people messaging me going, GT3 was at fault, and then after we've gone back and forth, they go, oh yeah, I understand. Now, could the accident have been avoided? Yeah, but lots of accidents in hindsight can be avoided. I've seen it loads of times, and I've been around the track quite a lot, and I've seen cars move over and gone through perfectly safe. But in this instance, it looks like he's moved over and hasn't seen him. Now, the other slight worry is that not only was the M2 not checking his mirrors, at the point they made contact, he's nearly all the way past. So he must have, in my opinion, he must have seen him coming down the left-hand side at the point he turned into him. But there you go. There's people on track days that I've certainly mixed with who arguably maybe are not very spatially aware, or don't know what they're doing, or that he was just like blinkered and just absolutely pooing his pants going around the Nurburgring for the first time. I don't know, I wasn't there. So anyway, that's the main conversation that I've had with people, is that people don't realise it's a 2-lane road. It's technically not it is a racetrack, but you are paying to go round under German road rules, which is 2 lanes, stay to the right unless you're overtaking. If it's clear, then take the racing line. But technically there is no racing line on, in my opinion, there's no racing line on TF, TouristenFahrten, because it's not a racetrack, you're not racing. Arguably, even on a track day, you'll be a bit careful. There's people still trying to go for a dive on a track day where overtaking is by consent. We've just done a circuit days day with them last week, and they said overtaking by consent. If you put your indicator on when you've moved over, everyone knows what's going on. You put your indicator on so that the driver coming up behind you knows that they've seen you, you've seen them. Technically on TF, people, that's the other question I'm getting, is that, oh, the other person should have indicated, or the other person should be the GT3 driver should be waiting for an indicator if they're moving over. Well, technically, if you're on TF, the person in the right-hand lane wouldn't have their indicator on if they were staying in that lane. If you're driving down a dual carriageway, you wouldn't have your indicator on all the time you're in that lane to say that you're not going to move across. So technically, he wasn't letting him past, he was just in the right-hand lane, which is where all the confusion starts. So there you go. I did make some notes because I knew I'd get a bit rambly. Yeah, that's it. TF is not a track day, so you don't have to have helmets, long sleeves, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's it. Anyway, I'm going to finish my tea, get back to painting, and as always, like, subscribe. Check out my main channel. This is a Rambley's unpeeled video. I'm going to get back to painting because I basically needed a cup of tea for the paint to dry, and I'll see you in the next one.